We bought a farm, 64 acres of possibilities in the heart of my home state of Michigan. Rolling hills, big oaks, brushy fields, swampy lowlands, a landscape with potential to become the perfect wildlife haven. Every hunter dreams of owning a property, but the real reason we wanted to buy a place is to see just what we can do to improve it. We plan to transform this chunk of ground from your run-of-the-mill weed-infested farm into pristine habitat for everything from whitetails to squirrels to pollinators. 4 months ago, I sent my buddy Mark Kenyon, MeatEater's whitetail guy and the host of the Wired to Hunt podcast, on a mission to find our new spot for an affordable price. After weeks of searching, he found it, the back 40. Now it's time to get to work, tilling dirt, planting fields, cutting trees, mowing, battling obstacles we can anticipate.
How steep is this drop off here? I think we got it.
Steep. And those we can't.
Trio bee stings here on my arms.
Dude, this is a freaking shit show.
The back 40 is a mean mother.
Here's the kicker. When we're done with this place, we're gonna give away the whole damn thing. That's right, we're gonna do the work of transforming this place into what we hope to be a hunter's paradise, and then we're gonna hand over the keys to the gate. But before that, we've got a lot to do. Follow us along through the whole journey this season to see if we can pull this thing off.
By most standards, the back 40 is a pretty modest chunk of dirt. It doesn't hold a candle to top farms in Iowa, sprawling ranches out west, or big lease properties down south. I know this place is raw, but every single acre here is a chance to create something new, something better. Our country is at its core a patchwork of small properties like this one, but 6,000 acres of this land is lost to new development every day. That's why there's no better time to take a stand than right now, no matter if it's on 40 acres or 4,000. And in fact, hunters already are having an impact. Somewhere around 356 million acres of land are owned or leased for hunting in the US today. Now I know I'm just one hunter, and this is just 64 acres, but I think I can still make a difference. That said, it's hard enough to build up a new property like this for whitetails, so Steve's directive to manage the back 40 with the entire ecosystem in mind seemed like an extra tall order. But now that I've seen this land, I can imagine the possibilities. Healthy soil could lead to rich vegetation, which could attract bugs and birds, who could in turn pollinate native plant life, and all of this hopefully could help produce growing numbers of the animals that I like to hunt and eat, including a mature buck or two. But before we can get to realizing any of these lofty goals, we have to find out what we have here. What exactly did we buy?
So it's shaped like Oklahoma.
Kind of like Oklahoma, or I describe to some people like a pot.
It's either a pot or Oklahoma.
Yeah.
We're in the panhandle of Oklahoma.
We're in the panhandle. Yeah, it works out well when you're describing it to people. It's a little handle here, and then it drops down to the pot, and every time I talk to someone, I kind of describe, well, imagine this is at the very bottom of the pot where like the scrapings would be. Yeah. This is the handle where you get into it. When this whole thing started, it gave me like the real impetus to dive in, to start learning about a lot more. It's a richer experience when you're sitting up in a tree. It's not just I'm watching for deer now. Now I know, okay, that's this kind of plant. That's a good thing. Here's this plant. That provides browsing cover or browsing feed for whatever other animal. So it kind of is giving me a new lens to look through.
It's a position of power, man. I'm looking forward to, like, have you ever hung out with a birder?
No.
I've been around some people who are good, but I'm looking forward to that.
Well, here's cool. What's cool is private lands across the country that are managed for recreational hunting are the most rich biodiverse habitats.
Is that right?
So I think that research kind of proves the point that we're hoping to show with this, is like you can have a place that you can hunt and have fun on and achieve those goals, but also make a difference in a bigger kind of way.
Right now, the back 40 is a big unknown. We've got a bunch of ground to cover and a lot of questions to answer. To help us do that, we recruited a few local experts. The first being Pat Hogan, a birder and field editor for Birds and Blooms magazine.
Pat, I'm gonna put you in an awkward position. If you had to rate yourself rate yourself as a birder, like how good you are,
All right.
what would you say?
I would put myself as an 8. You know, I never studied professionally. I'm not an ornithologist. I'm not breaking down feather patterns and stuff, but pretty good with birding by ear, birding by sight, understanding habitats, behaviors, stuff like that.
Do you like turn it on and off, or are you just like subconsciously going like there's a that, there's a that, there's a
No,
that?
my buddies and I, we joke around #alwaysbirding, and that's why, like, if some people sneak certain things in their golf bag, I'm sneaking binoculars.
What would be the number of species, but either visually or
My baseline is a dozen, and then I'm hoping for 20. We might get some, decent flyovers. I mean, there's a lot of geese moving right now, and you'll hear more than we'll see.
You hear that one going, eh?
Yeah, catbird.
Catbird.
Sounds like because it sounds like a cat.
Okay, I knew it wasn't a deer.
Is that right, catbird?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mark had it pegged as not a deer.
That's as far as I
I
go.
mean, so we'll start them at a 2 there. We'll start them at a 2 as a birder,
Yep.
and then we'll go from there.
There's a good one.
That was a field sparrow. Field sparrow. It sounds like you're dropping a ping pong ball on a table, and it gets faster as the bounces. That'd be a field sparrow.
That's a good analogy, man.
But
I
you
see
see him?
something sitting there on a
He's kind of rocking
top
there.
of in this blue. Yeah, so that was the
Yeah, indigo bunting.
indigo bunt.
Oh, that's not on your list.
What's that?
Blue jay.
Blue jay. Nice.
Get him, Mark. Write him down.
Yep.
That's some high-level birding right there, Pat. You see that?
I know, I'm proud of you.
I picked that sumbitch off.
And I feel like I let you down because I'm sitting there thinking in my head, oh, blue jay,
See, I was
big
always
deal.
Well, I always bird.
Hashtag that.
Yeah, this is where I think you're gonna wind up getting your squirrel. Is there things, do you go to properties ever and be like, this is the ideal bird property?
Oh yeah, if you walk in and you see eruptions of bugs, birds need their bugs. Everybody.
So you want to see a lot of bugs.
A lot of bugs, a lot of wildflowers, native wildflowers. And everybody puts out bird seed, and everybody associates birds with bird seed, but it's the bugs. I mean, those baby birds, they're not chomping on hard bird seed. They need the bugs. Different habitats, like if there's a creek, water, it's just like anything else. You need food, water, shelter.
Do you feel like if you were gonna rate like what you see here, like the potential of what we have as a bird habitat, 1 to 10 scale, where do you
Not to
put
insult
us?
you, but you have a lot of potential.
Gets to 22 birds.
Not too bad.
22?
22.
Oh shit.
Is that good?
Yeah,
Yeah, we were only supposed to find 20.
yeah. I mean, I was guessing 20 on the high end, so
How would you rate us as birders?
you improved quite a bit.
So
I
potential.
mean,
is
yeah,
like-
like there's some that I walked by, like the blue jay Steve called out that, it's a gimme for me, but you got to remember
Dude, I was,
the
yeah, I was,
company
tearing,
you're
I was
getting.
on fire, man.
You're always
picked off
birding.
that buzzard.
You're always birding while
Picked
squirreling.
off that buzzard, blue jay. But it kicks it in gear, man, the thinking and looking
Well, it's
and plotting and figuring.
it's holistic. You're thinking habitat, you're thinking birds, you're thinking small game, you're thinking big game. Then
Big freaking bugs coming,
Yeah.
Mark.
you plant a good prairie, you got deep roots, you're preventing runoff.
He's gonna come out walking all slow, muck up to his knees. Freaking birds hanging off his antlers,
just flying around him.
You're not gonna be able to focus.
chewing
Yep.
on a monarch butterfly.
God, I hope that's what happens.
From the beginning of this project, Steve has been talking about the plight of pollinators. If you haven't heard, the bees, butterflies, and bugs that pollinate 90% of our flowering plants and 75% of our crops are in serious trouble. To help us figure out exactly what we could do on the back 40, we called Ben Schlenker, a local apiarist and honeybee advocate. Now, this guy is a clearinghouse of bee knowledge.
So if something happens to your queen, she may become what they call a laying worker. The drones get kicked out. They literally starve to death. Well, they found honey in King Tut's tomb that was viable.
You were mentioning that it's the bee rut right now, or it's like the deer rut with the bee rut.
Yeah, kind of like.
Like, what's that mean?
Well, it's just because it's that busy right now. What we've got is a really cool situation going on. You see this field right here, this is all goldenrod. That's the last major flow source that we have in Michigan. There's some other odds and ends things depending on your geographical location, but this is the money for the bees. After this is gone.
I haven't seen a single bee on that.
Well, because it isn't completely bloomed yet.
Oh.
It's still coming out. So you've got various stages here. Some are just coming. This here is a little bit more. It won't be very long, you'll see this field just covered up. There's still some other sources.
And as
that
a
are coming.
bee man, you like goldenrod.
Well, I like it for the fact that I know what's going on as far as their part of the season.
Yeah.
But I also like it because, especially for stands like this, as large as this is what they're looking for. The honeybees don't recognize property boundaries, so we're not considering how big your property is.
Yeah, no, I got you.
They'll travel 2 to 5 miles, sometimes even more.
Yeah.
So what you
Seriously?
what you want to do, just like you guys are patterning your bucks, you're also looking around here. Where are my agricultural fields? Where are my water sources? Where are those kinds of things? Ironically, that it's such a beautiful mix between what we're doing and what you're doing that a lot of the management practices that you're doing for you are going to also work for your pollinators as well.
And they kind of, the cycle, tell me if I'm wrong here, but don't we get certain like ecosystem services from bees that benefit everything else and come back to benefit deer and wildlife?
They've been said that the honeybee hive is 100 times more valuable to the community than it is to the beekeeper, just for the pollination services. In the United States, the pollination services and the corresponding products from that are billions of dollars. You know, when you guys picked this property for what you were looking for, there was a certain list of characteristics you were looking for. Yeah. So people typically either manage the bees for pollination or for honey, or they just want to do something cool for nature. I mean, there's a variety of reasons. So
we're all three of those.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at. I want to raise, my main goal is sustainable Michigan stock. Okay, I want us to have our local stock where we're not dependent on trucking bees in from all over the country every spring to try to get our bees going. This is called a Langstroth hive. It was a Reverend Langstroth designed this basically. There are a lot of different beekeeping hives, if you will. There's Warray hives, there's Kenyon top bars, there's just a...
Kenyon?
Did you hear that?
Big
My
and
last
Kenyon.
name.
Once this is all like next turkey season,
right,
you get this going, how often does he got to come and mess around?
What I would do, probably we recommend once a week, once every week and a half. It's real easy to forget about these. Bees do not wait. So that day that it seems like you're really hot and you just doesn't really feel like putting on that protective gear and walking all the way out here just to look in the box, whatever they've got going on, if it's good, they keep doing.
Yeah.
If it's something you're not looking for, or if they've got a problem, they keep going. So lazy beekeeping is not a good way to go. This is a significant commitment that you're going to make because you are becoming a steward of these bees. Right? Great idea, right? Somebody's like, I was voluntold.
I just want my jars of honey.
Yeah, it's like, I was voluntold.
I don't need to hear any of the complaining, Mark. I just want my 50 gallons of honey.
It's all in what you want to do with it. But if your goal, and it sounds like it's identical with mine, we want healthy, sustainable bees that in turn will pollinate and help us with our other projects, including their success. It's a beautiful circle. It really is.
I think Mark's gonna get fired up.
I'm getting there.
We're gonna come out and this is just gonna be nothing but hives, man.
Bees and flowers.
He's gonna have a hog pen.
His next bath of movement is going to be his first sting. We'll see how he likes it. The question is, do you get stung?
Yeah.
Well, of course
He's got a little boy. He'll send that little boy. He'll be like, hey, see that? Go over to that box.
See how they're acting.
Scout it out.
With a whole new understanding of the birds and the bees, we finally were going to turn our attention to deer. Or so I thought.
This is gonna be heavily trafficked. This is gonna be heavily trafficked by Mr. Bushytail.
This pile here.
I want the squirrel cam to chronicle who runs. I feel like this is gonna be heavily trafficked.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Because it's gonna get them shucking nuts on that stump. It's gonna get them running this log.
What do you think?
You don't believe me that they're gonna run that log, do you?
Oh, I believe you.
Oh yeah.
I'm just a little bit in awe of the whole idea. This could become a thing.
Squirrel cam, trap scouting. Yeah, man.
This
If you
goes
knew
well.
what time the squirrel was working, what his name was and whatnot.
Would you name a squirrel?
Yeah.
Well, if we get
Old Bushy.
bushy, do you get excited when you see a certain size squirrel? Like,
No.
is there?
Not really like that. No, it's numbers. It's numbers.
Like, you're not excited about getting a bigger piece of meat off of it?
No, I don't. No one's ever like, oh, that's a big squirrel. It's more like, that's a bunch of squirrels. It's numbers.
Okay.
Keep me tuned in on what this captures, man.
There we go. We're turning it on and
Squirrel cam.
we had 2 cameras that didn't work earlier this summer. We had 1 camera that took pictures every 5 minutes over and over again. So we've had pretty bad luck this year.
Bunch of people messing
A lot of people. More people. We're gonna get a lot of that. God damn, that's it. That's all we got. Yeah, that's been the story of the cameras this year.
Really? It's been that.
We don't have summer food.
What is it
on
compared to other places that you got cameras out?
So other place I got cameras, I do have bucks, mature bucks, even without being able to bait and all that kind of stuff in Michigan. That's all she wrote. Bird survey is going better than the deer survey. At least the buck survey. We do have deer.
So that was 7 days worth of deer.
We got our work cut out for us.
Dude, this is gonna be fun for me to watch. It's gonna be a lot of work for you, but the country is full of small chunks of land like this, so to experiment with like making it perfect for wildlife and then getting some big deer, it's a great experiment.
It'd be a nice bonus if we get that, and I just think it's gonna be coming down and getting the work done. You wanna come help?
I'm in. I'll come on the opener squirrel.
Okay.
Next time on the Back 40, we're joined by several habitat experts to help us chart a management plan for the property. And then we get to working on the land. Or at least, we try.
I hate this thing already.
If you enjoyed what you just saw, like this video, leave us a comment, and subscribe to our channel to make sure you catch all of our future episodes.